Remember what it was like to be a kid? To explore and play. To roam free all day. In Jamestown, North Carolina, we get out of the grind and escape into the moment. People feel good here. Let loose here. Eat well here. Feel swell here. We go for a ride or an afternoon stroll. We cheer each other on. And go for the goal. Here, a treasured history meets the energy of a town on the rise. In a place with true heart and soul, and where we have our own special beat. Jamestown, North Carolina, where history and possibility meet.
Hope Ing. John Capes.
Here.
Darlene Fetty.
Here.
Robert Garland.
Present.
Sherry Richmond.
Here.
Donald Dell is absent. Bill McLean.
Here.
Peggy Levi.
Here.
Robert Kuhn.
Here.
Councilmember Burgess is present. A quorum is present.
Thank you, Katie. First order is approval of minutes from the April 14th Planning Board meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second. Have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you. All right, next section is the public hearing. Jose?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
All right, your only item for today's planning board is ordinance amendment. The applicant is Scott Greason. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it today due to a work trip, but he did submit a letter regarding his request. The text amendment is to an addition of agricultural fence standards in section 2.13-2 to the fences and walls of our land development ordinance. There was some change in the language, so I just want to go over some of the bullets in regarding the changes. So just overall, this adds to the materials allowed for fences within properties in the agricultural AG district. This does not include areas within the scenic corridor overlay district, so areas like Main Street and Guilford College Road are designated as character corridors and scenic corridor overlays in our ordinance, so these areas will be protected. And this creates specific height standards for the AG district, just for clarity. In terms of the ordinance, I'm kind of going to go a little backwards. So you have the red line version here, and thank you so much for the feedback that we got. We just want to perfect this ordinance change as much as possible before we get this approved. So I'm just going to start with the bulk of it, which is the material exception. So for the agricultural district, galvanized wired, barbed wire, welded or woven wire, livestock/cattle fences are allowed in properties within the agricultural zoning district if the property, if the proposed fence does not face right-of-way designated as a scenic corridor overlay. Electric fencing is allowed provided that warning signage is installed per Jamestown sign standards, and we just added a specific section just to point everyone to section 17.6-1, which is signs that are exempt from permits. And additionally, a type C buffer yard shall be required on the exterior side of the fence when adjacent to any residential district. So The language from semi-opaque buffer now is changed to type C buffer, which is also addressed in our landscaping ordinance, so it's a lot more clear, and there's some clear standards for the type C buffer. And then just as an aside, now what used to be number 5 now is number 6, since we're adding an additional section in between. Then again, going a little bit backwards, we did add a specific section in the height section just for agricultural district. Fences located along any property line abutting a public right-of-way or street and alongside property lines within the required 35 front setback shall not exceed 5 feet. So just for clarity, the front property line has to be 5 foot max. The first 35 feet on the side also has to be 5 foot high. Then any other property line on the side or rear can go up to 8 feet. The reason we wanted to break this out, our fence height standards are based on front yard and side yard, which are determined by the principal structure or home. We realize that some agricultural pieces of property may not have a principal structure or none at all. So we want to make sure it's clear and there wasn't a confusion enforcing that. So wanted to point to our zoning map. Since this only affects agricultural zone properties, I just wanted you to see where they are. So I've circled them in the map. So it's not too many areas, but you do see them throughout town and also in our ETJ along River Road. There's one little piece of property on Vickery Chapel, some on Guilford College, and of course we have the property along Main Street, again, which is a scenic corridor overlay. So along that right-of-way, it will still meet our regular fence standards. And this is just some examples of cattle fencing, what this would look like. I think it's important for you all to see what this looks like. So these are just 2 examples that I wanted to provide. And the decision before the board is just to make a motion to either recommend or not recommend approval of this text amendment to Town Council. Staff is recommending approval of this proposed text. And I just want to make it clear, this is not a variance request. This is a general change to our standards. So anybody who meets these standards within an agricultural zoning district will be able to benefit from this change. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And so next, we would open the public hearing to anyone that would like to speak about the amendment.
Of course.
We're next.
Huh?
The board is next.
Okay.
Yeah,
That is pro or con, correct?
yes. So is there anyone for public? No? All right. Then we will open it up to the planning board for discussion.
Those fences look kind of basic, and I'm looking at, if the fence, if this is number 6, where it says fences along all other interior side and rear property lines shall not exceed 8 feet in height, would that possibly be next to residential?
Yes, it could potentially be next to residential. That's one of the reasons we added a type C buffer yard to be required on the exterior side of the fence. That way there is some buffering between the residential piece of property and the agricultural piece of property.
And again, some of this, we just got it around 4 o'clock and haven't had a chance to look through this real well. Some of it I looked up online earlier. That's my concern, because I know there's a piece of property right there on Guilford College Road, which is near where we are, and we've had situations with that one already. And so those people would probably like to know if one of those kinds of fences would be up, where they would be seeing them, and what kind of buffer are we really talking about?
It would be a type C buffer, and I can pull up the standards for that specifically. What we wanted to do is to cite the type C buffer, which is in the another chapter in our ordinance versus just saying semi-opaque landscaping. So with the type C buffer, there's a little bit more specific rules in our ordinance that are tied to that buffer, but I'll be happy to provide that information.
That's what I would like to know, because representing all the people and knowing that they've had a challenge with the other possible zoning situation, I would like to represent them and know and say what kind of buffer would this be and how would it look when you have that really nice residential area there facing that, that area. That's my concern.
There we go. A type C buffer yard is a low-density screen intended to partially block or contact between uses to create spatial separation. It is a 5-foot wide buffer. Let's see.
Okay, are those trees, bushes, hollies? What is it? Because I didn't see that in my searching here.
Right. It's in a separate section of the ordinance. So a type C yard has an average width of 20 feet, maximum width 15 and 40. Evergreen tree rate is 4. Canopy tree rate is 2 trees per 100 linear foot. Understory tree rate was 3 per every 100 linear foot. And shrub rate is 17 per 100 linear foot. So that's part of the review process when somebody will propose a fence that's within an adjacent residential district. We will verify as part of the fence permitting process that they have the adequate landscaping.
So I guess then what screening really is there for that kind of a fence?
The type C buffer would be the screening.
Just trees or bushes or
Correct.
something like that?
Mhm.
And someone would maintain those and make sure that
It would be on the owner to maintain those. Correct.
and the people who live nearby to call in if that's not maintained.
Right.
So, Jose, just a quick question, if I may. The addition of Section 5 and Section 5 becoming Section 6 was to better clarify what was actually, how this was defined, as opposed to like some kind of line items in a sentence to an existing paragraph. You wanted to clear it up by putting more detail in there, right?
Right. So in our ordinance, we actually have a section that's exemption for the commercial district that allows a little bit flexibility. So it was that similar format.
Right.
So kind of the same as that, a commercial district section and then having an agricultural section with those exceptions. That's
Gotcha.
correct.
And this does not redefine the agricultural district. It's just talking about the border and how that border should look. That's exclusively what we're talking about here. correct?
Right. That's just allowing some flexibility in terms of the materials they could use for fences.
And so with any type of growth, greenery, or anything else, that would be subject to the definition of anything that was submitted at that time based on what happened to be growing there, but it would not be necessarily that something's got to be added or changed. It's strictly the fence.
This is for new fences. That is correct. Yeah.
And I'm assuming if somebody's already there, there's already stuff there, that's going to be grandfathered. They don't have to.
Correct.
put anything up.
Yeah. If it doesn't meet our current standards, that would be non-conforming.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
I know, I'm high maintenance. That probably goes in the minutes every time. But listen, we got this other paragraph at around 4 o'clock. Would the public have needed to see this information ahead of time?
No, the notice was just announcing that there was a text amendment, so the public is listening to the changes now.
Okay. Let's see where the other one is.
So other than that, the lateness of it, I mean, I've been through enough text amendment changes and things in the past, and I'll just tell everybody that the intent is not to stick anything in the 11th hour as much as it is to better define what's already there. It's not there to actually say, hey, we're going to, in the 11th hour, put this in there. Now suddenly it's got to be, purple fencing. It's going to be that we had this sentence that said this thing. Now we want to better define this by putting these other details around it. And as I read through what was sent out and took a look at it, I mean, it makes sense, even if it comes out a little later like that. That's not abnormal. And it's also not going to be something that would be outside of the norm of what we're talking about, because if it was, then it would, quite frankly, they can't do it that way. It has to be within the guidelines of, this is what we originally had, let's make better sense of it, so we're going to expand on this, and it's still talking about the exact same thing. There is nothing added that wasn't already there.
Well, and I think the additional definition is a good thing, because that was one of my questions coming in tonight, was what is defined semi-opaque? So I think the additional clarity is appropriate.
Yeah, semi-opaque by itself is charcoal.
Right,
Whatever.
what is it? Exactly,
So
I agree.
to have a better definition is both appreciated and I think needed in this day and age because we have so much terminology around it anyway.
So from the first revision that was sent to the second, it's really just better defined. It's not really changed.
Right.
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 Okay.
So if nobody has anything else, and I don't want to cut you off, did you have anything else, Sherry?
No, I think that you explained it a little better in that, but my main concern would be that area, because we
Sure.
had friends and other people who were upset about what potentially could have gone in there. And I wanted to just ask what this buffer is, because I'm just clueless, and that's why I'm here, I'm asking. But I think you clarified it, we have this we have it clarified for other situations.
Right.
But not for this situation.
Yeah, beyond this, I mean, unless we're changing what's defined as an agricultural district, I mean, nothing really is going to change other than how we do the fencing, and does the fencing make sense, and is it interpreted correctly towards what our current code and writings say it should be?
Well, if the people move there again, and they know that's an agricultural district, they can see the cows, they know
Right.
what, they know where they live.
Exactly.
But I think I think this buffer is a really nice idea. I mean, it's just to clarify that, to have that buffer yard.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, frankly, having had a couple of cows walk through our backyard earlier
I
this year,
remember.
I was rather surprised that we didn't have specific fence regulations for the agricultural district.
That always makes it fun, doesn't
It makes interesting.
It was fun in Cedarwood, yes.
it? No doubt.
All right then, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was actually going to go where I think you're going to go. which is to make a motion.
Yep. Do we have a motion to recommend the approval or denial of the LDO amendment to section 2.13-2 fences and walls to town council?
I'd like to make that motion that the proposed text amendments be approved.
And do we have a second? All right. Katie, this is a roll call, I believe, vote?
Robert Kuhn,
Aye.
Peggy Levi,
Aye.
Robert Garland,
Aye.
Hope Ing, John Capes,
Yes.
Darlene Fetty,
Aye.
Bill McLean,
Yes.
Sherry Richmond.
After all the clarifications, yes.
The motion passes.
All right. John, will you read the consistency statement?
All right, so, motion proposed amendment consistent with comp plan. I make a motion that the proposed zoning amendment be approved based on the following. Number one, the proposed zoning amendment is consistent with the adopted comprehensive plan of the town of Jamestown. The planning board further finds that the proposed zoning amendment is consistent with the comprehensive plan because periodic updates to the zoning text are necessary based upon the changing conditions, regulations, and laws. Updates establish town compliance with regulating bodies and ensure that guiding documents are accurately operational for each of the current goals of the comprehensive land development plan. And, Section 2, the proposed zoning amendment is reasonable. The planning board considers the proposed zoning amendment to be reasonable because A, the report of the town staff finding the proposed zoning amendment to be reasonable is adopted by reference. B, the planning board further finds that the proposed zoning amendment is reasonable because it adds clear and specific standards for fencing within the agricultural zoning district, including types of permitted fencing and conditions such as vegetative screening adjacent to residential areas, which helps improve interpretation and implementation of the ordinance. And Section 3, the proposed zoning amendment is in the public interest. The planning board considers the proposed zoning amendment to be in the public interest because A, the report of the town staff finding the proposed zoning amendment to be in the public interest is adopted by reference. B, the planning board further finds that the proposed zoning amendment is in the public interest because it provides flexibility for agricultural property owners while protecting residential neighbors through screening and placement standards, promoting compatibility between uses and contributing to a safe, visually coherent community.
Do we have a motion to approve the consistency statement?
It's a second.
Oh, the second, I'm sorry.
I'll
Do we have a second? Great. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Great, thank you. Katie, do we have anybody for public comment?
Nobody signed up.
All right, thank you. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second? All right, we are adjourned.